Okay, here we are, guys. All right, so I'm gonna retry this now, which is gonna actually work out for this video. That's awesome. Um, as you can see, it's snowing out, and it is evening, but pretty cool. So, I titled this video. I think I'm gonna quit. Um, because that's what we're gonna talk about, actually. And and the video comes from the idea that I've seen over the years of people on social media saying, I'm not getting where I want to be. I'm not getting anywhere. And so I'm going to quit. And they get out of music. And there's been some really good, talented musicians that have gotten out. And it's sad. Um, this isn't the playlist for preaching. But you know what? There's two things that really drive me personally. And they are this. Um, Number one, obviously, being of faith. There's two Bible verses. The first is Hebrews 13:5 that says, um, be content with what we have, with money, with things. Be content with what we have. And the other one is Philippians 4:11-13. It says, whether we have food or the cupboards are empty, whether we are in high times or low times, or we don't have enough and we're in need, or we have an abundance. Be content, be satisfied in all circumstances. There's those, and then there's my dad. My dad taught me from a very young age, me and my brother, Brian, um, if you're not going to finish something, don't bother starting. Finish what you start. So, we live in a time where people are, if things don't come easily or quickly to us, we just want to run and just forget about it, scrap it, and start with something else. Um, there was a character on Sesame Street when I was a kid back in the 70s. I watched Sesame Street, as many of you probably did, and he would play the piano. I don't remember his name. You guys might remember him. Comment if you remember who I'm talking about and anything about him. But I do remember that he played the piano, and any time that he would either make a mistake, hit the wrong note, or he would forget what to play next, he would slam his head down really hard on the keys and pound and throw a fit and say, forget it, I'm done, I'm never going to get it, I'm never going to do this. And it's what it reminds me of when I see people that get out. And I've met some talented local regular guys like myself who have written really good songs and recorded some really good tracks, and they have a good sound. They're brilliant in music. I mean, they were doing things that I wouldn't even ever think about doing. I was in a group, the Shared Madness Project, that sounded similar, but he was just awesome. And I got to jam with him a little bit, one guy in particular. But there's guys that are getting out that are just, because it's not coming, and they're young, They're young. They have time yet to get places. But, I mean, watch my video on success, because you also have to see how you define what success means to you. But, there's that. And then there's, things are difficult, for everybody. Every famous musician had to pay their dues before, they just happened to be in the right place at the right time. Some of the guys that I've been friends with over the years are great musicians, but like they have said, I just happened to be in the right place at the right time, and I got a gig. Back in my day, uh, I got to keep an eye on the time because YouTube will cut me off. We would make our own flyers. We would walk around town giving them out, sticking them on windshield wipers and things like that. Um, we had a couple artsy guys, but in the band, or one or two, or we knew somebody, and they would make T-shirts for the band, and we would wear the T-shirt with the name of our band on it. It wasn't overly professional or high end, but it did what it was supposed to. And so we would get people to ask, "What does that mean?" And then we would talk about our band. Back then, you would record your practices. You would polish a song; it would sound really good. You would get it on cassette. I know Kirk Hammett was telling me one time backstage that Garage Days was one of those kind of things where they made a copy, one copy, and it circulated and it took off. And, yeah, they struggled. They didn't have food and they basically lived in a storage unit and whatever, but it didn't last long and they came through and look where they are now, multi bazillionaires. I know bazillion's not really a thing, but so I mean, we all have that, and for myself, yeah, we did that. We made flyers. I organized my band. I started Araya shortly after I started playing drums. I picked up my first pair of sticks, got my first drum kit, a Yamaha Electric, back in '91, February '91, and I started playing. And by that winter, I was already, I had a uh, gig on K Rock, the morning show, the annual morning show, the Christmas one, and on the 23rd of December in '91, we had a Christmas show where back then it was me and a couple guys, and we were still, figuring out what we wanted to do. We liked metal, and I liked punk rock and metal, and we ended up doing a Christmas gig at the mall that was a metal instrumental Christmas set that was really cool. Um, and one of the local bands, actually, that was really big then around here, actually, the roadie came up to me and said, "Hey, would you like to take over for our drummer?" So, I mean, things happen like that. I didn't, but I stuck it out with my band, and it's been tough. But, and I would take cassette tapes anyway, getting back to the cassette tape, to wherever, I'd hand them out on the street. I would kind of toss them around town, so somebody would pick it up and be like, "Oh, yeah, I heard of you guys. I think I found a tape once." We would bring them to parties. I didn't go to parties. I don't party. I don't like the party scene. I don't like the bar scene. I've played there, but only for the stage and my office. I call it the stage. I played my shows. I didn't go there to get involved with whatever goes on the floor or backstage. Played my shows and I went home, to my family. But at any rate, we would hand out, I would take a cassette tape to a party. If a friend of mine was having one and invited me, I would go and take a cassette tape. They'd put our band in the mix for the night. Um, People would ask about it. We got hired to play parties, personal parties, graduation parties, weddings, all kinds of stuff. So, there's that. We would go meet with venue owners. I would talk to venue owners, and sometimes you get rejected. A lot of times you get rejected, and sometimes you get offered a gig. You go to the gig, maybe you don't get paid much, but that led to another gig, and then another gig, and then you do what you have to do because you love what you do. You have to love what you do, first off. But if you don't, then you're gonna quit the first time that a storm comes along or some kind of challenge. I'm re-recording this video because somebody showed up, knocked on the door. I was three-quarters done, and there you go. Man, I was like 20 minutes in, but here we go. I'm probably not going to go that long, don't worry. But I'm like, man, I was almost done. My battery's low on my phone, and I'm not near my charger, and now I got to redo this. So, I mean, things happen, but you have to roll with it. But I'm in a wheelchair, so yeah. So there's that, and then you have to just go with the flow. That is a big thing. You have to go with the flow. Now, so on top of that, as I've said, I'm in a wheelchair, and so I have pain all the time. I have mobility issues, so I can't easily, jump in a car and go somewhere for longer gigs. I've been blessed though in two ways, and I'll tell you this. Um, First and foremost, my bandmates have often over the years ridden together to shows. Um, how am I doing here? All right, I'm good. To shows, and so we rode together to gigs, and that really worked out good for long gigs, long distance gigs. And then also there was the local music shop, Big Apple Music here in Central New York, New Hartford, New York. hosted oftentimes um, drum clinics where I would go and watch the clinics and meet with the people, and I would learn over the years. And there's been people like Bobby Rock who played with Nelson and Lita Ford, and Dean Castronova who played with Journey and Ozzy and a bunch of other people. Frank Briggs with 805, Atlantic Star, all different styles. Dom Famularo, who was a session guy and also was friends with Buddy Rich, which was pretty cool. But, there's all that. So I learned from these guys, and I got to talk with them after the clinics and learn from them. Um, so, I mean, I grew there, and yeah, I'm still working. In the downtime, over the last couple of years here, while other people are online whining about it and saying they're in prison and whatever else they say, I've been using that time to learn and to grow. And like I said, I've been a drummer since high school and a lyricist, but I've been seriously playing bass for only a couple of years. So for Christmas, I got the Beatle book and I'm learning theory. And I'm learning to play and write and what goes into music theory and composing a song. Where before it was always just tab and here's my idea and I jot it down. But so I'm learning, I'm writing new material. I'm studying, I'm a doctor of biblical counseling. I'm studying up on new things, new trends, new theological views and whatever. And I'm doing that. So I'm growing. I'm using the time to grow. And who knows what's coming down the road. But if you watch my video on what success means and what is success and are you successful, um, you could see, yeah, I've got more to do. And as long as I wake up every day, it's an opportunity to go somewhere else that I haven't been yet. But all that to say that, if you love what you do, stick it out. And don't be quick to give it up. We have so much at our disposal these days. I was saying before when I recorded that, you know, back in 2000, Recording Magazine was an industry magazine, um, primarily. And they were saying, home recording is on the rise. It's the future. And it's true. Because my last two CDs, we recorded at home. And for what used to be three, four, $500 a track, we bought the gear to record, and they are really good sounding CDs. So you could do everything at home, and if you can play multiple instruments, you can do full recordings. And now everything's digital, so all you got to do is get online and share it, like I'm going to do with this video. Um, so you know, instead of like, and oh, one more thing, and I didn't put this in my notes, but it just came to me because I know people who say, I've been playing for 2 years. They've been playing for 2 years. They're making a lot of money. They're famous. They're on the verge of being famous. I'm still playing local gigs. We have to not compare ourselves to other people because I have played high end gigs and I have done things and I've been in the studio. Everything and every time you go to a new place in life, even good places, they come with challenges. These people don't have it made in the shade because they got to where they are. There's challenges that they have to deal with that come with that. Success does not come easy, and it's always roses and I don't know what do they say now, roses and unicorns or whatever. Everything comes with its challenges. Be satisfied where you are, but if your calling is that strong and that you feel, I'm a musician, this is what I'm meant to do, this is what I'm good at, this is what I love. I've said that a lot of times over the years. Then do it. Don't be quick to quit. Stick it out. And like I've told people, don't compare yourself to other people. Compare yourself to you yesterday, a year ago, 5 years ago. Am I better? No. Okay, well, I should be by now. I should have learned one thing in the last year. Okay, well, then where do I need my most work? What would I like to be doing more that I'm not doing now? And then, assess that. I took 2 years of theory in high school, and I'm 50 now. I'm going to be 51 in a month and a half. And it's been a long time since high school. I forgot a lot of that. So I'm relearning. Like I said, for Christmas, I got the Beato book, which is written by Rick Beato. Check him out on YouTube. He's really good. Um, I followed him for a while just to make sure, that I was into him and whatever. And he's a music professor at Ithaca College in my area here. And don't know if he still does it, but he wrote his own textbook, and it's massive. It's like 500 pages. Plus, he's got a couple hundred extra of tabs and things of exercises. But I got that for Christmas, and I'm reading it, and it's really helping me a lot. And I'm starting again from the beginning and working my way through theory. Um, but don't compare yourself to other people. Compare yourself to yourself. Where would you like to be? And then work at that. I knew that I was weakest in my music theory. And yes, I can write a song. Yes, I can tab out my bass line. But I need more. I want to get back to the knowledge that I had back in my high school years of theory so that I can compose better. I can um, do better things and bigger things with the music. And, there's just really no excuse not to be learning and not to be growing. Um, it's essential. But if you don't want to do it, I mean, don't do it. But the thing is, like, don't say things aren't coming because that's the thing of this generation. And the younger generation today is, like I said, if it doesn't come easy and it doesn't come quick, then we're just going to scrap it and just go to something else. Okay, well, you can do that. And I've told people, you're 20 now, but in 20 years or 30 years, when you look back and you say, I never finished anything, I never got anywhere, because you made a habit of, it's not coming quick enough, scrap it and move on. I've been at the bass for a long time and it didn't click with me, but I kept at it. I needed to be able to write and record my bass lines so that I could write my songs and lay them down and record them because I didn't have a bass player consistently. So I pressed on and I learned enough to record. Now I'm up to, like I said, we've been on lockdown and whatever for like 2 years. I've learned like 180 cover songs and wrote like probably another 20 to 30 songs, which I'll get around to recording someday. Stick it out and don't be quick to quit. Um, if I did, I'd never get up in the morning. If I thought about all the challenges and how difficult things would be and whether it's worth it, I would never get up because you don't always get fruit from what you plant. And, but you got to love what you do. My dad was a musician. His dad was a musician. His dad was a Hollywood actor. I mean, it's generations of musicians, and I got uncles and all kinds of relatives and cousins or whatever that they're in music. Um, some have toured with famous bands. Some have been on famous record albums. Some have toured all over the world, like my grandfather. Um, some, like my dad, just played local. But you can go back to my Am I a Success video and check that out. All right, and I think I'm coming up on my time. So I will end it here. But, don't be quick to quit. Don't compare yourself to other people. And don't just give up when it gets tough. Keep going. Build, grow, get better, and stick it out. God bless you guys. If you got, anything under this video, let me know. Please leave a comment. Um, I'll keep doing these videos. I started, here you go. Here's quitting, right? I started and stopped a few times before because it didn't come quick and I didn't get an audience, but I'm going to stick it out and keep going. They're about to shut me off, guys. Leave comments, like, share, subscribe, and I will be back Wednesday with another topic for you guys. God bless.